Alright, guys, I am back again. Yes, this is the same outfit because it is the same day, okay? When I have time, I've got to knock these bad boys out. I was tagged in another book tag by Leanna's Library. You should definitely check out. I'm just gonna jump right into it. First question, favorite book? Right now, I would say The Wrath and the Dawn. I'm currently reading The Rose and the Dagger, but I still think The Wrath and the Dawn right now, at present, is my favorite. But it changes kind of frequently. I don't have an all-time favorite, I don't think. Favorite book 5 years ago. Again, I don't have favorite books. I have favorite authors. 5 years ago, Cressida Cole, Sherilyn Kenyon, Patricia Briggs, Ilona Andrews, and Julie Garwood. Those are my favorite. Number 3, your favorite duology, trilogy, or series? I would have said the Dark Hunter series, but lately that one's kind of... Right now, for favorite duology, I'll probably go with the Wrath and the Dawn series. Or, shit, I'm tripping. So, definitely have 2 favorite series. And have been, I think, for a couple years now. So, the Kate Daniels series by Ilona Andrews and the Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs. They are both urban fantasy series, and what I really like about these is that the main characters in both books are 1, female, 2, badass, 3, they're not fucking wishy-washy. They don't fall for every guy that just, like, flashes them a fucking smile or is nice to them. And they're typically saving everybody else's ass as opposed to getting saved. So these are some really awesome characters, which makes them, my favorite series. 4, last book you read. I am currently reading The Rose and the Dagger, which is a sequel to The Wrath and the Dawn. Number 5, the last book of poetry you've read. I don't recall having read a book of poetry as an adult. Probably one of Shel Silverstein's books, like Where the Sidewalk Ends, and that would probably be the last time I read poetry. That's so bad. Number 6. Book that most influenced your life. I will probably say the Nancy Drew series, only because that's what really started my love of reading. And then reading as a whole has just kind of pulled me out of some dark, mental places. Not any one specific book, but just, being able to escape into somebody else's shit and stay out of my own. 7, book that made you ugly cry. Ooh. I don't know. I really tend not to read sad books, so I really can't think of one that made me ugly cry. Except for A Walk to Remember. That's probably, that book traumatized the fuck out of me, and that's why I will not read sad books. I don't like all this boohooing and shit. Even though everybody talks about how cheesy they are, and there's some magic resolution and a surprise, she lived a happy life, even though we said she had this terminal shit and she was gonna die. I kind of like those though, because I don't want my favorite characters to die. So yeah, that would be one that made me ugly cry. Book that made you laugh. Most recently, it was probably A Court of Mist and Fury. Just the interaction between Feyre and Rhys, the little smart ass notes they write back and forth to each other, where she's like, fuck her, very funny. That's probably the most recent one that I can think of, but I read so many, I just kind of brain dump and I forget. But yeah. 9, character you'd like to be for the day. I would probably say one of the heroines from my historical romance novel, simply because, I feel I think that back then, the alpha male kind of a thing, and then just knowing that, your husband was gonna protect you and fuck up anybody who, looked at you wrong or any of that, was sort of romantic because I'm fucking weird. But I would like to live that for a day and see if it would actually piss me off, or see if I still would like it. Number 10, a book that was so good that you dreamed about it. Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. That book, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, it was a little trippy. It had kind of some, was it Greek mythology in there? I think it did have a bit of Greek mythology mixed in, as well as being a Beauty and the Beast retelling. and it was a little trippy. It wasn't what I expected it to be, but I really liked it. And plus the main heroine, her inner fucking dialogue, she was such a snarky bitch, and I loved it. But I think that was the last one that, like, that kind of a trippy magic castle environment where shit changes and you'd open the door and shit make you hallucinate all kind of crazy stuff. That was the last thing that I dreamed about. Weird, right? Number 11, a book that you DNF'd. Most recently, Her Lone Wolf by Tyler Page. Now, this is like a werewolf black ops kind of a thing. And I read the first one and I actually really liked it, but I read the second one, I started it, and it was just very kitschy and cheesy, like even more so for the type of book that it is. And I just got really bored with it. Now, eventually I will try to finish it, but, like, I didn't even get to the interaction between, like, the main two characters yet. It's just like, alright, I just forgot about it, basically. And then number 12, what book are you most excited to read? This latest addition to the Mercy Thompson series, where, you know, Mercy's kind of separated from her husband and the pack, and she's got to try to deal with, you know, someone cutting ties between her and her pack, and her not having, you know, that support or that extra strength that she can pull from, and not being able to contact her husband like any shape or form. And then Court of Wings and Ruin, because I kind of want to see if the second book was a one-off, and I just really liked it, you know, for the reason that there were a lot of things in there that were not ignored, and I really appreciated it, like dealing with the PTSD and the emotional trauma and that kind of a thing after you come from, you know, the kind of event that Feyre came from, and instead of just brushing it off and she's magically fine, you know, she dealt with the trauma and all this other shit, and so did Rhys. And then Tamlin was just a fuckface. But I want to see if the third one I like just as much, because all of like the Throne of Glass series and then the Court of Thorns, I fucking didn't like any of them. So I'm wondering if that book was a one-off, but I'm still very excited to see where the story goes. So yeah, that concludes the Getting to Know You book tag. I will list the people that I tag down below, and anyone that I don't. If you are watching this and you want to do this video, I tag you. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.